Hello, I'm Allison Loudermilk, ARMC's Community Outreach Coordinator, and I'm here with two lovely ladies from our community. We are celebrating Black History Month, and we are going to learn some great information, and we're going to learn some great recipes. So I'm here with Peachie and RoLesia from Ashtabula County Community, the community here. So ladies, I'm so glad to have you here. I'm so glad to learn some new dishes. When we decided we were celebrating Black History Month, you and I were in a meeting and I said, I would love to cook collard greens because I was doing it all wrong. So we've had a couple of phone conversations. I know what I'm doing. Oh, well, I hope so, but you're going to watch over me as we do this together today. Yes. So if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us how long have you been in Ashtabula County and what you do for our county, because I know you do a lot here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the invitation to come and share a little bit about Black history and wellness. I am RoLesia Holman, born and raised here in Ashtabula. Went to schools that no longer exist. Actually, Bunker Hill no longer exists. West Union High School no longer exists. Ashtabula High School no longer exists, but those are all the schools that I attended.
Okay.
After graduating from high school, I went to Columbus and went to Capital University for a stint. But I'm an adventurous person, and small towns are quaint and friendly, but I needed more.
Sure.
I transferred to University of Maryland, College Park, where I got my elementary education degree. Did some teaching in the state of Maryland, and then broadened my horizons even more. So I lived in quite a few states, North Carolina, California, and then I wanted to explore overseas. So I decided to get an education and also provide an education to the United Arab Emirates students. So
Okay.
I was in the UAE for a while. Then I wanted to go back to school. I'm a lifelong learner. So
Sure.
I got my second master's in education policy, no, not education policy and leadership. Technology, innovation, and education from the Harvard Graduate School of Education. Afterwards, doing my thing, my parents started to have some health issues, so I decided to come back and support them. So since I've been back, I'm now city councilor. I co-own a small business in Ashtabula, and I continue to do education as a consultant. And the last thing I did, the most current thing, is that we're starting a new nonprofit to honor the legacy of C.J. Prentice. And it's a C.J. Prentice Education Resource Center. So just finding more ways to give back to our community.
So you're not doing a whole lot. You've got a whole lot of time on your hands, huh? Right?
Yeah.
So thank you for coming back to Ashtabula County. We're so thankful you came back. Thank you, thank you. Peachie.
Yes, ma'am.
We have you here today, and you are
Yes.
doing cornbread. Is that right?
I am. Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us a little
today.
bit about you.
Okay. I'm a licensed social worker. Been in social work for over 40 years now. Retired from Job and Family Services about a year ago. I do grief counseling, and I'm a licensed celebrant at Duke Rose and been there a long time.
Okay.
I also have a nonprofit. It's called Encouragement, Inc. Our motto is caring, concern, and compassion. And we reach out to people in the community for all different kind of reasons. And most of my business is through referral. People call because somebody's passed away, because a child is in trouble with suicidal thoughts, those kind of things.
Sure.
So I'm doing that right now, so it keeps me busy between Duke Row and my nonprofit. Yeah, born and raised here.
I think you ladies are making me look really bad.
Yeah. And interesting, I'm so glad to be here with Peachie because we're like coming full circle, because she knew me when I was a little girl.
I did.
She knew me when I was a little girl. Mentored me and is still mentoring me all these years later. So
I love it. I love it.
Especially appreciative that she's here.
Well, I remember, and then we'll get ready to cut the collard greens. I remember when I first came into my role, when you told me that Peachie was going to come, I said, oh, I remember Peachie. When I first came here, she was doing an event, of course, something in the community to give back to the community.
Always.
And she reached out, and ARMC was happy to help you with what you needed. And we've known each other from back then. And I just know that you've been given to this community, both of you ladies. we're blessed to have you, really blessed to have you in this community. So with all that being said, we're still going to talk about a lot of stuff that we have going on, but I had requested collard greens because I've made them a couple of times and I failed. So we're going to talk about what I did wrong and the right way to cook it, and a little bit of maybe if you can tell us, we were talking about not quite the history, but how different families make it and different people make it and the reasons why they do that. So we're going to start cutting these collard greens. I'll give you some, Peachie, and we'll follow. Oh gosh, she's got this down pat. Maybe I will just watch.
As I said before, historically, collard greens have always been a part of soul food.
Sure.
And I watched my mother make them, but since I've been an adult, I've modified it and adjusted it a little bit. And then, as I visit other Black families in the community, there are different ways of preparing them. So Peachie probably does some things similar to what I do and probably some things different than what I do. But what's essential is that
even the way we're cutting from the stem, I just pull mine, but you should probably cut them. But this is the way my mother did it. So.
See, that's something else interesting because I have a cousin who keeps the stems. And my mom would tell me, she said, no, cut the stem out. So it's just a matter of choice and preference. But it does add some texture.
Oh, okay.
It adds texture when the greens are finished.
Okay. I actually cut a lot, when I did mine, when I was told to do them, I cut a lot of this off, only so far down, kind of the way you're doing it there. And then I put it in a pan with olive oil and I tried to saute it with garlic. Somebody had told me you do it similar to the way you do kale. And Peachie informed me, after you told me the right way to do it, that would make it pretty bitter if I cooked it that way, and it wouldn't cook down. I wouldn't get, so that's what I was doing wrong. I had no idea that you boiled them.
Really?
I did not, no. I love to grow vegetables, and collards are pretty easy to grow. So now that I know how to do this, and I'm going to learn a little bit more, I'm going to grow these. So your family's been making these since you can remember.
Oh, yes. And I'm assuming, Peachie, your family as well?
Grandmother had a garden, mother had a garden, and this is one of the things they raised because it's very sturdy. And it grows for a long time. Even when it's cold, they're still doing greens.
Sure.
Speaking of cold, Peachie, I don't know about you, but I was told that as you grow the greens, they get tender if you wait until after the first frost.
Yes, that's true. I forgot about that.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
That's what I learned. Yeah. And they grow, they are so sturdy. Tell me, when they finish in the garden, do you uproot the entire root, all of that?
No.
Interesting.
But somebody else may pull it all the way up. My grandmother never did.
So they just kept it in so the next year would continue to grow? Wow. Nice.
So as I've learned a little bit from RoLesia, I'm going to tell you what she had me do last night. We were on the phone and, at first she was going to do this. And then there was a little hiccup about me getting it over to her. And then she said, well, if you really want to learn to do this, maybe you should do it tonight. And I took that challenge on. And we had a phone conversation. And she had me take roasted turkey. Smoked turkey, I'm sorry. That I got right from Walmart that you had me go to.
Absolutely.
They had a section there. They had smoked turkey wings and legs. And you suggested I get the wings because we were making a smaller batch. And then last night, she said that I could either put them in a pot and simmer them or put them in a crock pot. And I chose the crock pot overnight. And so we did the turkey, and she had me do just garlic and just onion. And I put it on low and had it go throughout the night. So is this the traditional way to cook the greens, or is this something, because you said that you do things different in each home?
Well, my mom used to make them with ham hocks.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so traditionally we used pork because that in the slavery days, that's the meat that was, that was left over.
That was available.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so over time, what we decided was in order to have a healthier version, a lot of people started using smoked turkey.
Yes.
And so she would always take the smoked turkey or the ham hocks. Did she ever do neck bones?
Yes.
Okay, and put it in water and soften the meat.
Okay.
It softens and it makes the broth for the collard greens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it does.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you this broth, and these might not be some things that you've tried at home, but we're really encouraging you to step out, try something different, try something from another background, somebody else's history, what their story, learn a little bit about it. And that's what we're doing here in Black History Month, and that's what we're encouraging you to do. Learn about it. And if you're not sure, ask the questions. Find somebody and have a conversation with them. I learned a lot from you on the phone last night. I was excited and thrilled to talk with you, and it really made me excited about coming to learn some new things today as we're cooking. So I have the broth that we made here, and we're putting in, as they cut, RoLesia wanted me to rinse the greens in cold water before we put them back in the pot. I'll rinse these off, and then we'll add whatever you want in there. And then we will turn that up and let it cook as we cook some cornbread.
Yes, wonderful. And you know, as we talk a little bit about this, it's a lot of Southern families, regardless of their race, cook collard greens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot
Definitely.
of Southerners of all races. I'm not sure why or how it got started in the South, but I know a lot of families do. I think I remember Paula Dean on the Food Network
yeah.
maybe used to do collard greens, and they continue to perfect the recipe.
Yeah. Well, I think when other cultures bring something in and it's good and it's good for you,
Good for you, yes.
people want to make that.
Yeah.
And that's what this is about.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what
I'm
this
glad
is about.
you said it's good for you. Do you mind if I share some of the benefits?
Not
of
at all.
collard greens?
Please do.
Since
Yes.
we're talking about wellness, I thought that it would be good to share some information about our physical health.
Yeah.
And the beauty of collard greens, not only is it tasty, but I was looking here at, I Googled it, and this is from let me see, where did I get this from? 5 amazing health benefits of collard greens. And one of them is antioxidant benefits of collard greens.
Wow. Okay.
Anti-inflammatory.
Which is
benefits.
fantastic. We just talked about that at our heart luncheon last Saturday. Anti-inflammatory foods. So heart issues, this is
Yes.
fantastic for.
Cardiovascular support, digestive support, and other benefits. So it just says other benefits. I don't know why it says that. But there are a lot of nutrients that are packed into collard greens that are beneficial for our physical health.
I've always heard people say that if you want good things for your body, we've been given them.
Yes.
You grow them, pick them, all
Yes.
of that great stuff. So I have heard collard greens are wonderful, and that's why I've always wanted to make them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so excited. I was telling these ladies, my husband smelled me doing the broth last night, and he's like, "Are you going to bring any of that home?" So
That smoked turkey smells
Oh,
amazing.
it is.
Oh.
It definitely is wonderful.
Before we move along, can I add a little salt and pepper?
You sure can.
Okay, because sometimes, I'm not sure, Peachie, do you add garlic powder to yours at all?
I don't, but
Okay.
my son does.
Okay.
I even put a little sugar in mine, like a
At the
teaspoon.
end, yeah.
If I think they're going to be better, I add just a little bit of sugar.
I was telling Allison that sometimes, collard greens might be tough when you get them at the store.
Mhm.
And so after cooking them for about 30, 40 minutes, because we don't want to overcook them and
No.
overcook the nutrients out. If they're still tough, I add a little baking soda.
Yes, me too.
And the baking
Yeah.
soda tenderizes them.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
See, you learn little things like that and you think, I wonder what else I'm cooking or making that's very similar to this that doesn't work for, that doesn't help. Did I do that okay?
Perfectly, yeah.
Okay.
And we might want to also let them know that we put the bone in there for flavor.
Yeah.
Right, but before we actually serve it, we'll take the bone and stuff out. But for right now, it's just helping to really fortify and give the flavor
Yeah.
in the broth.
And if you go back to bone broth is one of the best broths you can have. They say when you're sick, when I was going in for a surgery, they had said to me, drink fluids, but they recommend bone broth because it was so good. So not only are you getting the benefits from the collard greens here, when you put the bone and you cook that all night and then you cook it here, what a wonderful, wonderful benefit you're getting from this. So I'm so excited. So with that being said, we're going to move on and help Peachie with the cornbread.
Okay. Now, for the cornbread now, there's yellow cornmeal and there's white cornmeal. It's preference as to which one you want to use.
Okay.
Now, yellow cornmeal tends to be a little bit coarser. So a lot of people don't like yellow.
I do.
But some people, that's all they use is yellow. I can use either one. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
So, and to talk a little bit about cornbread, in an African American family, you wouldn't have greens without cornbread.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's almost like a side that goes with it.
Okay.
You wouldn't have to have it. And traditionally, we're going to do it in a muffin pan, but traditionally, most of the time, it's made in a cast iron skillet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that brings that crunch around the side.
Yeah.
It does taste different in a cast iron skillet.
It really
It's totally different.
And I haven't had it since I was a little kid, and my grandmother had the cast iron skillet with the little pie pieces so she could put the cornbread inside of it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this preheated.
Okay, now we have 2 cups of cornmeal in here, and I always mix my dry ingredients together first, and then add the wet to it. So 2 cups of yellow cornmeal, 3 tablespoons of flour, and we have our baking soda and our baking powder.
And we will put this recipe up there for you so you can look at it. And again, like I said, we want to encourage you to make this, try different things. So this will be posted. And I know that the collard greens that we were talking about making, every household makes them a little differently. And that's why you asked, do you put garlic salt in there, garlic powder? But if that's what you want to do at home, if that's your preference, go ahead and do that. So,
especially because not everybody keeps fresh garlic.
Right.
right.
Now, as far as the cornbread, if you're not sure, and this is the first time you're trying this, and you're doing your dry ingredients together, it might be a good idea to sift your dry ingredients together. That way you won't, your flour's mixed in, your baking soda, baking powder, and you don't have little lumps of that in here. Okay. So now I'm going to crack this egg into a separate bowl because we're going to add it to the milk.
Okay.
And another thing about cornbread, you cannot overmix. When you overmix, something happens to it. I can't even
The
explain it.
consistency of the
texture
dry.
of it.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
And it does get dry. And now, we're going to be adding oil to this. Now, some people have a problem with oil, but you have to have some oil in cornbread. Now, if you don't want to use, we're using vegetable oil. You can use olive oil, but it doesn't taste the same.
Oh, is that right?
It does not.
Okay.
It does not.
Okay. And here's the thing, if you still want to try something different and you have to watch what you're doing and you have to watch the oils, you're going to get something good. It's just not going to be the same consistency, the same taste.
And you're not adding that much oil. So, this is a very limited amount of oil.
Okay.
So, I don't think it would, the vegetable, I guess you could use canola. I've tried it with canola oil, and it was all right with that, too. So, we got our milk in and our egg. Now, we're going to add our oil.
Oh, wow.
And you want to stir it well, like I said, but you do not want to over mix.
Okay. So they don't usually have greens without cornbread, is that right?
Not that I know of, Lisa, do you?
Bring the cornbread.
There's something about it has to go to. There's other meals too where you have cornbread. I remember growing up, my grandmother, when she cooked fish, she was always cornbread. And definitely a dry bean, pinto beans, black eyed peas.
Yes.
Always.
Okay. Because I was going to say, if you go to Texas, they always say chili and cornbread. That's what they do there.
Yeah.
That's what they have. Their beans, they do the chili and cornbread.
And my grandmother used to tell me a lot of history because my grandmother was from Mississippi. And she used to tell me before the workers went to the field if that was leftover cornbread, that's what they would take for that day in a tin bucket.
Okay.
That's what they would have would be cornbread because it was sturdy, it would hold up, and it was pretty filling.
I was going to
Yeah.
say it was
Yeah.
probably pretty
Yeah.
filling for them.
I'm curious. Now, my mother's from Mississippi. Where in Mississippi is your grandmother from?
Is it Brownsville?
I'm not sure.
I think it's Brownsville.
My mom was from Louisville.
Yeah, I think it's Brownsville. And she said that there's a cornbread they call whole cakes.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering if you were going to make
Yeah, they're called whole cakes, and they're individual.
When you were talking about your mom and she would pour it in the separate, sort of like a waffle thing.
Yes,
The
yes.
whole cakes would come out in small,
Yeah.
like patties like that.
Oh, okay, okay.
And they did hot water cornbread too, because if they didn't have, they may not have had milk or egg or whatever it was. Hot water cornbread was just basically water and cornmeal. Now some people add baking soda, some people add salt, but that's a little bit trickier kind of bread to make
Okay.
because your consistency has to be right, and the water has to be so hot it burns your. It has to be hot, steaming water that you put in here because it kind of pre-cooks the oatmeal. I mean oatmeal. Definitely not the oatmeal. Pre-cooks the cornmeal.
But
So-
isn't it amazing how resilient people are that they can find a way to make something when they have nothing?
Yes.
They can find a way to feed themselves. They can
Yeah.
find a way to do that. And that's probably what was happening, and that's how they had to learn to do that. So
It's interesting you should say that because a lot of the soul food was to fortify the soul during slavery.
Yes.
And because we had so little, we had to learn how to make stuff out of whatever was
without,
left over.
yeah.
and that's where some of the creative recipes came from.
I bet.
People making something from nothing.
Yes.
And even as far as babies, my grandmother used to tell me that they didn't have baby food and all that. They would take the day-old cornbread and crunch it up, and they'd add milk or buttermilk to it. And they give it to the baby.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. So you're going to use that cup or label?
Yeah, I'm going to use this ladle.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll pass this on to you.
See, and here in this kitchen too, we've already used the ladle, so we're learning how to adapt.
Yes.
Now, you don't want to fill these up all the way to the top. You want to fill it like 3/4 full because they will rise and you'll have a mess if you don't limit how much you put in the muffin. Now, the muffins are new for cornbread. I don't ever remember growing up and my mother doing muffins, ever.
Yep, that's a new one.
It was in that cast iron skillet.
Yes, ma'am.
But it's funny how things adapt as the world changes around us,
Yeah.
and you find out what's easy when you have it and able to do it.
And now they have Jiffy Mix and all that. But there's a difference.
I'm going to
Use
tell you,
Jiffy Mix.
I've cheated and I've done some Jiffy Mix, and it is filling, and it does give you a little bit of that cornbread flavor, but it definitely
And
is
it's
different.
sweeter.
It is a
Yeah.
little sweeter. Yeah.
And I was wondering, my mom would add a pinch sometimes of sugar to her cornbread. Do you add
I
that?
do, but I did this. I was trying to be a little bit more
Do
conservative.
you remember how long
16 to 18 minutes.
on what temp?
400.
And you smell those greens?
I do. It smells so good. And the muffins are a pretty presentation when you're having them. When you set up your table, it's a nice presentation with the rest of your food. So.
Oh yeah, they're really cooking. They're boiling.
And if you used a cast iron skillet, what you would really do, you would have to put a little oil in the pan. Even though your cast iron skillet may be seasoned, you have to put a little oil to keep it from sticking. And it also forms that crust around the edge, that crunchiness that you want in the bread. So
That's what I love. So we have some green peppers here, and you said that was optional.
Yeah.
Should we have already put those in while it's cooking, or you do that a little bit later?
Later, yeah. And I'll defer to Peachie. I don't know if she uses green pepper. I found that, and this is after I was an adult, that some people do chop it into small pieces and add it towards the end, and it gives them a little more texture
A
to the
crunch.
green sometimes.
Sure.
I don't, but my son does.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that funny how
Generational thing, I
Uh-huh.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cut up,
think. Okay.
and we're going to let everything cook. So is there anything that you'd like to tell everybody, or you'd have everybody learn something new about Black history, about something that you think that you could share that is important for our community to know here in Ashtabula.
Sure, but before I'm gonna ask, do you like green peppers? You like bell peppers?
I do.
Do you?
I
So
do.
you're gonna try it in there? Since you're...
Well, I figured we had some time to talk, so I was going to cut it off.
Okay. All right, Peachie, can you would you mind just reading that?
Black history, building from the past, inspiring the future, guided by faith.
Yes, and I was sharing that the Black church has always been the hub of the Black community historically, and that was the way we communicated with each other, events, we share information, we did so much learning, and it helped to build community and strengthen us during the hardest of times. And I know that that's still important for our community today. The other thing that I think is important to share, I had another t-shirt that says, American history is Black history. And I really appreciate the reflection to say, where have we come from? And I also love the fact that we're now celebrating the contributions that Black people have made in history. And we're finding all sorts of things, like inventions, whether it was the gas mask, or whether it's the Murphy bed.
The first street light in Cleveland.
Garrett Morgan, I think. And it's beyond athletes and entertainers.
Yes.
Because
Right.
oftentimes they think of us as athletes and entertainers, but we are now learning about scientists and mathematicians and aerospace engineers and business owners, and it's just so much learning that is beneficial, not only to us as adults and our level of confidence, but I love the fact that children are learning it at such an early age, so
Yes.
that they can learn to aspire to great things. And I just think that, we should be celebrating Black History Month all year long, not just in February.
Yes, yes. Well, I will tell you, if you come into our new patient care tower for this month,
Yes,
we have
yes.
all of, we've honored Black medical pioneers, and we have them flashing. And there was one, I believe it was a nurse, 1862 or 1864. She went to school and she became a nurse, and she was taking care of women and children in her own home. And I was just, I stopped and I was reading those. With that being said, we're still cooking our cornbread. Those are in for about another 11 minutes. We've got our collard greens cooking. We are probably going to take some pictures and get those up for you so you can see them. And those have just a little bit longer to cook, I think.
Yeah, and what I oftentimes do is just taste the leaf to see if it's tender, and taste the broth, because now you start to season to taste.
Yeah.
Okay, and you do the salt, pepper. I guess if anybody wants garlic, your son does garlic. So if you're a garlic person, I am a garlic person. I do like garlic.
Yeah. And did you say towards the end you add a pinch of sugar?
I do.
Pinch, yeah.
Yeah, just a pinch,
Yeah.
or maybe half a teaspoon, quarter teaspoon.
Yeah. And I love that she says a pinch, because we're talking about wellness, right? So we're talking healthy foods, and unfortunately, diabetes runs in the Black community.
Yeah, it does.
Hypertension, where there are a lot of illnesses. So we're trying to reduce the amount of sugar intake.
Yes, and heart is huge in the Black community.
Oh, yeah.
And so when we're eating things like this that help your heart, that's just keep eating these good things.
Yeah.
Pinch of salt, pinch of sugar, fantastic.
Yeah.
And if you are diabetic, just leave the pinch out. It's okay.
Yeah.
So is there anything you'd like to
I
share
want
with
to
us?
say that we talk about Black history. I think it was the 7th year that I did this event called Diva Day, and it was at the hospital.
That's what
And
it
part
was.
of the mission was to expose all women to what we have done. And the hospital's aboard with that mission, and it was fantastic. I think we had a doctor there, African American doctor. We had African American nurses. We also had other races of nurses. But the point was to expose women to all cultures of people, and to show them what we have accomplished and what the hospital was doing. They were hiring people of different cultures to do that. It was fantastic. I think that year we had like 175 people.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people shy away because I'm a white person and I don't feel like I'm going to belong there. I'm going to tell you sometimes go. The things that you're going to learn and the information you're going to get and the conversations you're going to have, you're not going to start anywhere else until you go. And I'm very happy to say we were talking about Black people in the medical. We have Dr. Bell, who's come on now. We have Dr. Facalate. We have Dr. Williams. We have a lot of wonderful Black people that are here. They're proud of their heritage and they've worked here at the hospital, and we're happy to have them. So
I'm glad you said that because when I was doing some work at Harvard, working with the medical school, a lot of the students acknowledge that there are illnesses and physical conditions in the Black community that aren't necessarily taught in medical school. So when they graduate, sometimes there's limited knowledge about how to treat some of the conditions that Black people have.
Sure.
And because we know this, I will say I'm sometimes hesitant, who I go to as a physician, because I want them to be well-rounded in their knowledge and experience, be able to identify historically what has been some of the issues in our Black community.
Sure.
And then let's talk about healthy ways to reduce some of those conditions.
Absolutely.
Because and Peachie talked about we didn't have access to a lot of healthcare. We weren't allowed to go to the hospitals. So we had to find remedies and stuff to be healthy at home. Yeah. So there's just relationship building is important as we go and have treatment from people who may not understand. So relationships are important. Bedside manner is important. Gaining knowledge and experience about particular cultures of people. I think all that learning is critical if we all want to be healthier.
Absolutely.
And trust in the medical profession.
Absolutely. 100%. I couldn't have said it any better. But that's why you're here. That's why you're here to teach us. And we appreciate you taking the time. We appreciate you teaching us not only to cook different things that we're not used to cooking, but different things that we're not used to hearing. So we really, truly appreciate that. So what we're going to do is we're going to let all of this wonderful stuff cook, and we are going to take some pictures of it. We're going to have the recipes out there for you, and that way we encourage you to try different things. If you want to post any questions, please do that. We'll do our best to answer those for you. So I want to say thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for teaching me some new things.
Absolutely.
And I hope that our community learns some new things, some new information, and some new cooking techniques. Anything else that we're missing that we can look forward to that we need to say? I think we've said about everything, didn't we? We talked about everything.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. I'm so excited for them to come back and teach me something new too. And more information, more food knowledge. I want to soak it all in. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I want you to say we have just a couple more days left in Black History Month. I don't care if you pick up a book. I don't care if you chat GPT. I don't care if you Google it. Start somewhere, ask some questions, and learn something, please. That's what we're asking you to do, and that's what we're reminding you to do here.
Building bridges across our differences.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it starts with each one of us. So please do that. Thank you so much, you beautiful ladies, for coming with me today and teaching me some new things. And we will post pictures, not of us eating it. We don't want to make you jealous, but we'll post pictures of the finished product. So thanks so much, ladies, for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you.